Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for October the 6th, 2010. Now our first position for tonight is going to be in the Forex market, the Australia-US currency pair. Now point of interest here I want to show everybody is that we have this buy signal that came from Vantage Point off this just under this 90 level. We've moved all the way up into the 97, 98 area. Last night we've got some interest rates, some less than favorable interest rate announcements from the Royal Bank of Australia. We have this long candlestick that's come down here, but I want to point out and illustrate to everybody exactly where it stopped. Right on the 18-day predicted moving average from Vantage Point, we can see the low is 95.42, the 18-day predicted moving average 95.31. The market's now subsequently moved some almost 200 pips off of that 18-day predicted moving average from Vantage Point, clearly showing a bullish signal is likely to continue on the Aussie US dollar. Now this is a good example again why the short-term indicators really carry little weight here. Our predicted true strength indicator from Vantage Point has clearly not crossed the trigger. Neither has the predicted MACD, despite the fact they're both in overbought territory. Predicted medium and long-term differences both remain positive. So looking at our crossovers, before we go into our daily report, what I want to point out here, we're going to hit the short-term crossover and hit apply, just so everybody can see this. We can see that the short-term crossover is trying to attempt to cross to the downside, but again, this is why we simply do not trade off of this indicator. Very low percentage win rate on this short-term crossover. The medium-term and long-term crossovers are far more predictable and far more accurate. Very clearly we have no crossover on either the medium or the long-term crossovers, and this supports again the triple EMA cross. We can see we have a nice wide gap here. Nothing has changed here. Australia US continues to be in a very, very powerful uptrend. Now again, using the predicted MACD and the predicted true strength indicator, we have a very clean signal. If I was to move this to the predicted stochastic and the predicted RSI, two far less accurate indicators, what I'll do is we can see, I'm going to hit OK. Now these two are basically not giving a signal of any kind. They're still working very well, but again, only from a secondary standpoint. Clearly the predicted MACD and the predicted true strength indicators are the ones you should be watching. So with that said, we've identified that short term the indicator is down, but we've recovered from that RBA announcement. Now let's go in and look to tomorrow to see what the predicted high and the predicted low is going to be. I will also what we're going to do is identify the key pivotal areas, 95.31 being the major support level. Now looking at the daily report from Vantage Point tomorrow, let's have a look at this. We can see we have 96.58, 97.74. So for tomorrow we're going to be looking for a slight pullback towards this 96.58 area, and we're going to use that to get into our buy positions. We can see the neural index has gone from 0 to 1. That's another positive sign despite all of these positive days. Now what I want to again, 96.58 is the predicted daily low for tomorrow. We have 95.31, 96.56, and 97.03. So we can see that the 8-day predicted moving average is likely to provide a very strong level of support for tomorrow. All stops in this particular case would be below this 95.31 area. And again, we've had a corrective move on the Aussie US dollar. The 18-day predicted moving average very clearly is held. That area was calculated yesterday, so it's very impressive the way the Vantage Point was able to pinpoint that. Now I do want to point out here though that I am using the updated version of Vantage Point, the 8.3. We can see it's again working very impressively to calculate these. The neural networks are working in a very aggressive manner to calculate these levels. And again, we have a very, very accurate outcome because of that. Now, that's our first position. Now, our second position, what I want to point out here is we're going to go in and have a look at the diamonds. Now, I really like this particular trade. Again, you'll remember this was a recommended trade long back at the beginning of September. It's moved steadily higher. We've had this one corrective move, has come back down, touched the 18-day predicted moving average, again, much like the Aussie US trade, and after it came down and made that retracement, it moved aggressively aggressively higher. So again, to point this out, the key levels 107.15, 108.14, and 108.61. So everything looks good here for this move to continue now that we've had this corrective move. Now I also want to point out again, the predicted MACD has bounced off the trigger back to the upside. Predicted true strength indicator, we do not have a crossover on this either, and we are in heavily overbought territory. Now without that crossover of the trigger, this suggests that it's going to continue to move higher. The predicted medium and long-term differences, both pointing higher. Bouncing off of that zero line, this purple line here is the medium-term predicted difference, has bounced away from that zero line and it is now also moving higher. Another very good indicator. We've closed at 109.40, so what we're going to do here now is we're going to go into our daily report and look for that position for it to pull. Where is it going to pull back to? So for tomorrow we have 108.52 and 109.98. We've had 3 down days on the diamond. Tomorrow we have the neural index has turned positive, suggesting an up day. So we're going to look for this minor pullback towards this 108.52 area to get into, again, a long position on this. And I would like to see this again move back over the 109 area, and this will be a very good move for this particular ETF. So I really like the diamond trade, the Australia US, everything looks good there. Now before we go, I want to review a quick trade on the week contract. Now I think it's important to review, we had an excellent trade yesterday on the British pound US dollar, booking over 180 pips on that trade. However, the week trade stalling somewhat, and I want to point out for everybody still trading the week contracts, I would like to show you something. Now looking at these weak contracts, this is the point of concern, and that's why I always use the Vantage Point software to draw these levels of support, so it tells me where the market potentially has come to before and had trouble with. So what we can see is that I've drawn this line dating back into the beginning of August. The weak contracts have come down and they're getting caught up just around this 650 level. We've closed at 663, so there is a reason for concern on the short positions here. 687.60 is the 18-day predicted moving average. I still like shorts into this area, but again, we're seeing some volatility. We are not oversold on the predicted true strength indicator or the predicted MACD. I still like this trade. You can see the short and medium term differences starting to turn back up, but the long is staying down. So weak contracts, I still like those shorts, but again, we definitely want to point out this support area that I've drawn in here and the problem the market is having getting through it. So if we can break through this 650 level and stay and close below this level on the weak contracts, this should start a very aggressive move lower, but we need that break. If we don't get it, we're likely to push back up over the 700 mark, so everybody should keep that in mind. So again, those are the market positions for October the 6th, 2010. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.